What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and welcome to a new World of Tanks video. The last one for this decade. The last one for me personally in 2019. And in this video today, I just want to go through what happened in 2019 in World of Tanks, give you a little bit of a rundown, what were the features, what were the updates which came to World of Tanks, just going to give them a little idea, like ranking them a little bit, what was good, what was bad. And also giving you my final thoughts about my personal opinion on what happened for me personally, and at the end, and my goals for 2020 and the start for the new decade. Because I have some big goals. I have a decentish announcement to make, which would be coming, which is very likely to happen. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah. The first update in 2019 was probably the most controversial update in World of Tanks history anyway. It's update 1.4 with the introduction of the wheeled vehicles, and I know that a lot of people dislike the wheeled vehicles. I'm obviously not one of them, because let's be honest, I enjoy the playstyle of them. Especially, I have to say, I consider the lower tiered tanks, like up to tier 8, being very, very unique wheels. That was stupid. Very unique vehicles, there we go. And they are, in my opinion, a very fresh take on World of Tanks. And I do not think that the lower tier tanks are as strong as the top tier vehicle. The EBR 105 is definitely the best light tank in the game. I already mentioned that in my personal ranking video, where I also had a look at all the other light tanks. And I have to say, yeah, the EBR 105 is just too strong. However, the lower tiered vehicles, like the Lynx, for example, which I'm right now free marking, while I already free marked the AMD and the EBR Hotchkiss, I have to say that in skilled hands, those tanks are potent. If you don't know what you're doing, they're absolute trash. So I do understand the philosophy behind them, and I do like the idea that they not have the best view range, like that they do not have enough view range to get to 445 meters. And this makes those tanks, in my opinion, much more balanced than the top tier vehicle. But yeah, other things which also happened to 1.4 were changes to personal missions and for some reason buffs to the 279. This is legit why update 1.4 is the most, I'm just going to put myself over here so I can read properly, most controversial update. The 279 didn't need any buff, let's be honest. The lower plate got buffed from 30mm to 55, if I'm not mistaken, making this tank impenetrable for every single tank in the game except for Jackpan 700 and FV with AP when they are shooting at your lower plate. Or, well, not really lower plate, it's your belly armor. Also this year I was able to get the Object 279 for myself, and I have to say, if you are able to play against tier 8 enemies, this tank is retarded. Excuse me for the language, but this tank is absolutely insane. Also, some things I still don't understand. Why exactly did they make this tank more accurate and quicker to aim? Like, it's a very accurate now tank, very snapshot-like good. And I'm sitting here like, guys, that would have been a perfect buff for the IS-4. Make it a little bit more snappy, make it a little bit more accurate. Bam! IS-4 would be much more convenient to play. But yeah. Then apparently 1.4 also gave us the technology of having multi-core processing, and we got the new map Ghost Town. I didn't really heard a lot about Ghost Town in general from people, but for me personally, I don't dislike the map. I enjoy it. It's a fun map. I like to play it in wheeled vehicles. I like to play it in light tanks. It is open enough, and it's still good enough for most tank classes, except for maybe TDs, because TDs are only really effective if you are defending, and then you basically are betting on your team failing, for example, the medium line. But yeah, that was update 1.4 in February. Let's have a look at the next update. Hello. There we go. 1.4.1. A small update. That was my telegram. Sorry for that. It adds merit rewards. The little rewards we here and there get from time to time when we play tier 5 to tier 10 vehicles. And those rewards are pretty really neat. They give us sometimes good stuff, but most of the time just blueprints. For me personally, I dislike the idea of blueprints, how they were implemented. And let me explain. I do understand that they are great for grinding stupid, bad tanks, like the TVP VTU, like the T-34-100, What do we have else, which is very, very hated? Actually, don't know right now from top of my head. Like, for that, the blueprints are great. But genuinely speaking, I dislike the fact that Wargaming just decides to make it easier for many, many people to just get a new tank. I would have loved to see the blueprints being used to unstock vehicles, because, let's be honest, that would be amazing, because in the end, I think that it is better to play a tank longer when it's fully equipped than just skipping it entirely, because then you are gathering experience for your crew, experience for yourself. For example, Wargaming decided in 2018 to make many lines more streamlined. So yeah, that is what happened, and this makes it a lot more easier to go from one tank to another tank. In 2019, they kept on going with this trend with the Leopard 1 and the STB 1. So I kind of dislike the change how they did those blueprints. I would have loved to see those blueprints being effective on unstocking a tank, making a tank elite. And then you still have to grind the tank fully. But this is my personal opinion, and I think that a lot of people will disagree with that. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the blueprints. But yeah, we also got crew skins, which are kind of... They didn't really do anything with those, to be honest. I am still waiting for YouTuber skins, for community contributor skins, and even voiceovers, because let's be honest, every single community contributor, or most of them, have a good microphone. Maybe not Klaus Kellerman, but come on guys, most of them have. And I think there are a lot of people out there which kind of want to get a crew skin or a commander from Jingles, for example. By the way, he is in World of Warships, which is a cool thing. Or from Quickie Baby, or for Skill for LTO. Let's be honest, everybody wants to have Skill for LTO. Oh my bananas! When you kill somebody, or I don't know, it would be amazing. I do think, however, Wargaming is holding off on such a feature until the rework of the crews are over, because then they could introduce them much easier, because now doing that would be a tiny bit stupid and time consuming. When you already know, oh, we're going to change it anyway. Whoopsie. Yeah. That was 1.4.1, which was in March, so just like 1.5 months after 1.4. Was a little bit of a small update. There could have been a little bit of balancing, but we come to that later on. Because next update was already May, and that is update 1.5 with the IKEA wagons. The new IKEA wagons. And I just don't dislike them. I think Wargaming did a well job balancing them. The only real issue with those tanks and the STB1 is that I still miss a little indicator on your screen when you are in sniper mode. Where is your hole showing? I gave this as feedback. Sadly, apparently got ignored, or people didn't care for it. It would have been a very easy thing to implement, I think. A tiny little UI or interface element, even though Wargaming said interfaces are very expensive for them to do. But yeah, I just like the tiny thing that is automatic-ish, and that sometimes it just feels laggy. Like, you go down or want to go down, and it just lags behind because it is unsure, should I now go for it or not? But other than that, I do think that Wargaming did a decent job with those tanks. I don't dislike playing them. The only real issue I had with most of those tanks is they are rather inaccurate on the move, and they have very, very shite gun handling. So those makes these tanks a little bit annoying to play, especially the tier 9. The tier 9 felt like a shotgun. But yeah, those are those tanks. The other thing we had, the Swedish heavy tank rebalance, which I think went over very well. I don't consider the Kranwagen to be overpowered or not. It feels now really something more unique. So that is a well done job by Wargaming, I think. Yes, you can sometimes see it in Clan Wars, but it's again for very specific purposes, and in the end you only see Chieftains, T279s, 277s, and 907s in the end. So you hardly see Kranwagen, at least we do. And with the Emil 1, we also got a premium, the Emil 1951, which I'm coming to in a bit. And lastly, they added excluding maps and the World of Tanks premium account stuff, which is cool. Which is genuinely cool that Wargaming decided to change some stuff with the premium account, making it more, again, with premium features. Because I don't dislike the idea of making a premium account more appealing, that people want to use it. Because if a premium account has premium features which don't really make you like automatically better at the game or give you higher chances to win a game, that is fine. I don't see excluding maps as giving you a better chance to win. You could argue that you have a higher win rate because you play on less on maps you don't dislike, but that's just stupid. The only real thing I dislike about the new World of Tanks premium account is that it's not the same anymore with World of Warships. So if I decide to play World of Warships, I'm standing here with my pants down, even though I have in World of Tanks 209 days of premium. And lastly, there were some changes to SPGs. Every nerf to SPG is great. I still think they are overperforming. But yeah. Well, artillery is kind of a hot topic, but great update as well. They changed the Type 5 Heavy, made it less OP, like they took away its stupid HE gun and still make it a formidable enemy. I personally think that right now the tank is a little bit more skill-based, but it's more potent because you have a more consistent gun. The AP gun is great, you have your great snapshotting capabilities, you have a decent DPM, and you still have this good armor. And last we got styles, but who gives a poop about those? 1.5.1 was a little smaller update, which gave us the STB1 rebalancing and the Leopard 1 rebalancing. Again, I personally would have liked to see the Leopard 1 to be more of a sniper medium with fast shooting gun, like a mix between the K91 and the current Leopard 1, or the newly changed Leopard 1. That would have been great, like a sniper medium with 360 alpha. I would have loved seeing, to be honest. Sadly, we didn't got that. Sadly, the STB1 got the 360 alpha, and after playing it a bit, and especially after changing it again, like giving it a tiny touch better reverse speed, keeping the new mechanic in place, the STB1 feels very, very unique, and I genuinely enjoy playing it. I think it is even a little bit stronger than the Urus because it has this much better DPM. Sure, it is not a high alpha gun, but it feels convenient. I sadly didn't really play that much Leopard 1 anymore, even though I used to play it a lot back in the days. As you can see, 721 games in it. But I think the Leopard PTA still performs better and much more convenient. In Tier 4 tier, it is much better. But apparently, the Leopard 1 did see some pro play on, for example, maps like Cliff. Which is cool to see that finally a German tank got some pro play value. So that is cool. I should give it some more shots again in the Leopard 1. I think it is not bad, but lately, I'm not feeling it. I genuinely am not feeling the Leopard 1. Speaking of which, people which enjoyed the old Leopard 1, I could consider to say get the M60, because it kind of plays like an old Leopard 1. But bear in mind that obviously the M60 is a worse version of the current Leopard 1, because of DPM, speed, and so on. And yeah, then we had some session statistics, which are nice to have. They replaced some mods we had. And crew books. Crew books were a little bit... they're interesting, let's say the least, because they don't allow you to train your crew when they're at 50% or 80%, only if they're 100%. So they don't have any use for new players, which is bad. And they can have, in quotation marks, a pay-to-win aspect to just get a good crew. However, I do think that they are not immensely overpowered in the sense of usually after 3 skills you have everything you need, and getting 2 skills, sure, it costs 6 million. I tested it myself and that is a decent chunk of money, but I don't really see now people having incredible huge overpowered crews. For lower tiers it has maybe a bigger impact than for higher tiers, but on higher tiers most of the time your personal skill is more important than the skill of your crew, if it is at 100%, obviously. We got Kharkov back, which some people disliked. I don't really dislike it that much. It's kind of meh to me. Like, it could have been a little bit better. But this was 1.5.1, actually a pretty decent and big update. It was in June, in summer. So yeah, let's move on to the next update. And if I'm not mistaken, between June and this update, let me have a quick look. Oh, that didn't show some time. Ah, there we go. Ah, yeah. After that, we had Gamescom, which are coming to in just a bit. 1.6. The update which probably every single community contributor in World of Tanks said, we're going, what the hell are you doing with those lights? We understand that you are a little bit on the safe side after having screwed up a little bit with the real vehicles, and many people dislike the real vehicles. But everybody said, guys, the British lights are ass. Please give them something going for them. Sadly, that didn't happen. Now we have a battleship gun on tier 10, which is basically every single other tier 10 has, light tank. And we have a line which is very, very mediocre. I do have to point out, however, I personally enjoy the G-Zor a lot. I personally enjoy the G-Zor a lot, and I'm looking forward to try to free mark this again. Why do I enjoy this tank so much? 10 degrees of gun depression, 35 degrees of gun elevation. Jesus Christ, this tank feels absolutely amazing when it comes to having gun values, because the Manticore is absolutely ass in that regard. Seriously, I'm not joking. This tank's gun elevation and depression angles are triggering me. But yeah, maybe after the ammo rebalancing, we might get some buffs for the Manticore. Who knows? Maybe it will get hash, because the HE is ass. Who knows? In the end, I personally enjoy playing the setter. And I know a lot of people dislike the setter because it's slow, it's sluggish, and it doesn't have a good gun. But I do like it because it has the good HE alpha, and it can do a lot of damage with that HE. Sad part is that it's like 175 HE damage compared to the 260 of the EBR, which is like, wargaming, the hell are you doing? This tank has also 75mm gun, and like the setter, as you can see, 75mm in caliber, but the HE has almost 100 more. Yeah, that's a little bit sad. But yeah, what can you do? There were also some other changes in 1.6, which were for the personal missions, making them a little bit easier. And they gave us a customization update with adding different flags, big flags, small things, and so on and so forth to that game, which is cool. And a very big and also I heard controversial thing: disabling friendly damage. I loved that, to be honest. It's a good thing, because team killing people is just toxic. Period. There is nothing to argue. Team killing people is just toxic. Stop arguing. Okay? The only thing what is sad that this is changed is trolling your friends in your platoon by detracking him. That's the only thing I personally miss. And the fact that now Artie can just shoot into a 1v1 and doesn't get, what's it called? It doesn't get punished for that, to be honest. That's kind of stupid, because I just recently had a 1v1 against a 277 in my WZTD, and yeah, Artie just finished him off for 300 damage because it just splashed me, basically. Which is a little bit sad, but yeah. You'll win some, you lose some. This customization is a decent thing. One thing I really want to add, though, for customization for 2020, I personally really want that Wargaming allows us to also customize styles, because I do know they are handmade and sometimes here and there, but I dislike this logo. I don't like the Clan Wars logo, so why the hell do I have to have it on my tank? Seriously, it looks, in my personal opinion, poo-poo. It looks ass. And even the 3D skins, which I probably should start to use. Where is it? There you go, Major Ram. They look amazing. Not gonna lie, the 3D skins look absolutely amazing. Still, I personally would love to, for example, have here my Raptor head, because it's like my trademark at this point. So yeah, I'd love to be able to customize styles a little bit. Maybe we'll come in 2020. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah. That's for 1.6.0. Then came Gamescom, which was a great time. I wanted to do a video about it, but I kind of just procrastinated it, and now it's like half a year later. Good job, RagingRaptor. You're living your YouTube life like you're living your student life, just procrastinating until you fail or succeed. Gamescom was great. I met a lot of people. I talked a lot. I met many German community managers and community contributors. I had a great time there. First time after being for 3 years, I think, in Odem Mortis, or 2 years, I finally managed to meet most people which are active players in there, and it was absolutely amazing. It was such a fun time. I genuinely have to say it was such a fun time. And if you ever go to Gamescom next year, I personally plan to go again. Let me know and we can meet up. Like seriously, if we grow a little bit bigger, let's meet up. 1.6.1 was a really small update, an update which was lackluster in my opinion because it gave us multinational vehicles. Cool, great. Now we got a Rudy, which is also a medium tank trainer for the Polish tank tree, which is great. But Wargaming didn't do anything with this update. Historical styles, okay, they look cool, but again, you can't really customize them. Then we finally got the information that the Kampfpanzer 50T and the AE Phase 1 will be our Tier 9 rewards for Clan War, for Ranked and for Frontline. Very interesting, very two unique vehicles. I'm looking forward to get the Kampfpanzer 50 because if I'm not mistaken, I should have enough points after just finishing the qualification qualification period. Yes, I have 9. I won't be able to get this one yet. I just have to get one more apparently. And then I'm golden, which is amazing. I'm looking forward to it. And the AE Phase 1, now you might ask, was it worth it to grind for countless hours for this tank? No, obviously not. You should do better with your time. But in the end, during Frontline, I also grinded a lot of credits. So it wasn't only for the tank. However, Frontline got tedious. Wargaming noticed, hence why they gave us the 100% boosters. But yeah. That is the AE Phase 1, and it is a unique tank. In skilled hands, very, very strong, because it's basically a super conqueror on tier 9 if you can play hold down. The cupola is very, very thick, especially in angles, and it personally thinks it's very, very a bouncy tank. However, I don't really have played that many games in it, 6 games only, and 3k average is a little bit lackluster for tier 9, personally speaking. Well, okay, T10 doesn't count, I didn't play the tank for ages, okay? Well, maybe it is actually good. I don't know. I actually don't know. I did play too much tier 9. But yeah, the AE Phase 1 was the reward for Frontline. The multinational vehicles. Like, such an interesting concept, but not delved in properly. Let's be honest. Maybe we get next year a Swiss 3. Maybe in 2021. There are apparently... a friend of mine is working on a proposal. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? It would be very, very, very cool to see a Swiss 3, I'm not gonna lie. But then what happens? Do we get the Panzer 38? Will it be a premium tank then? Or the Panzer 58, I mean. The German tier 8 medium, which is actually a Swiss-made tank. You know, where is it? There is it. Will it be a multinational vehicle for the German and Swiss tech tree? Will the Swiss tech tree be integrated in the German one, even though we didn't really were allies with Germany during the war period? However, we made weapons for them during the war period and got bombed by Americans because we did have a weapon factory at the border. And we took in the gold to give out money. It was a complicated time, let's say it at least. One thing I didn't understand, excuse me, why the hell did Wargaming not make this tank multinational? Like, this was the perfect tier 8 premium to make it multinational. Seriously, Wargame. It is the M48 Räumpanzer. It's an M48 pattern, which could be an American and a German crew trainer. Because then it would be actually logical to make this tank like this, because it's otherwise total garbage and ass. So, yeah. But apparently Wargaming didn't want to do that. I don't know why. This tank had potential to be this multinational vehicle. But yeah, I think we are getting close to the end. 1.7, the last update for this year. Introducing the anonymizer. And now, after playing it for a lot longer and a lot more, I do think it makes a difference. The amount of artifocus I received, just feeling, I didn't test that. Please notice I didn't test that yet. It feels much more convenient. Like, I don't feel that I get focused as much as before in the with the anonymizer on. Sure, it is sad because it is an amazing feeling when some people just write to me, "Hey, RagingRaptor, it's amazing to see you," especially in the German community. But then again, it's a price for me, for my personal sanity, to pay. Then crew directives. Not good, Wargaming. 20k for 6 cents. Come on. This was supposed to be for new players. Why do you make this behind a paywall? The same with the fire extinguisher. Why don't they even give us the option to use both? Because they exactly know that you want to have a premium account to be able to afford those. And even with a premium account, if you go full loadout, you pay 80,000 just for consumables. And this shite. Wargaming failed us there. I dislike what they did here. And Holiday Ops 2020, another controversial thing, because let's be honest, hiding 2 new tanks behind a gambling paywall, screw you. Seriously. I dislike that. I said it countless times, I don't like this approach. I personally got lucky enough to be able to get both tanks through 75 boxes. I got very lucky. And I personally now look forward to the new double barrel tanks, because they do feel fun to play and something more unique. Are they completely overpowered? This tank feels strong. It really, really does feel strong, personally speaking. I like it more than the E75 TS. The E75 TS is kind of, the gun handling is just absolute ass, and it makes me want to punch something in the face. But yeah. I think that rounds up 2019 in the World of Tanks perspective. Now some personal notes on that. I know the video is getting long, but it's just some things I kind of want to finish up and point out. This year we made a decent jump in subs, 1,400. That's like almost more than 100 subs per month. I do have to point out though, however, I'm bad. Like, I am not the best content creator, especially as I'm using the English format to be like my test platform, to say it like that. The test platform to polish some things I did wrong for the German video, because I have to say, at the moment, my German channel is the backbone of my YouTube career. Because in this year, where even though the English market is much, much broader and has much more people watching, I gained almost twice as many subs in the German channel than in the English one. And the German channel already passed the English one by a quite big margin. I'm at 4,750 subs in the German channel, and we are 3,660 in the English. The point is that chances stand decent that I may or may not become a CC with January approaching. Because to be a German community contributor, I would need to get 5,000 subs. Then obviously they have to say things like, well, are you shite at the game? Do you speak nonsense? Do you infringe our name? Do you rage against wargaming? Do you say lies, etc., etc., etc.? And personally speaking, the only real issue I personally have is that I may or may not be sometimes a little bit too toxic. It's not often, and you hardly see it ever on YouTube. Like, sure, I say wargaming, what the hell are you doing? Why are you so stupid? I sometimes just say this out loud, but I don't really say, go beep yourself or something. And I genuinely don't want to mean this as to be like, oh, you said. I want to be more of a, how should we say? I want to always give feedback at something. I like to get feedback myself, even if it's harsh, but it genuinely helps me to improve. And I also want to give feedback to Russia, to wargaming. Sure, I don't know if it's going to work or if they ever hear me. So yeah, I tend to sometimes maybe be a little bit harsh on them, but sometimes there's just some things I have to say, what the hell are you doing? And I just want to be honest about those things. And this is also something, even if I'll become a CC, I would still work on. So the question is, what happens if I am a CC in the German community? Well, obviously it will have effects on my English channel, because in the end, I would be an English community contributor as well, because most likely, because I'm the exactly same person in German and English. I just speak 2 different languages. I guess most of you already know that I am not a native English speaker. I sometimes have blackouts, I miss some words, and my pronunciation is not the best. Maybe it's a little bit of charm, maybe it's cringy for some people. Who knows? But yeah, my goal still will be for 2020 to achieve that CC. Maybe I took too long, let's be honest. Maybe I'm still way too niche, way too bad for YouTube, for streaming. But it's still something I would like to achieve, because that's one of my goals for 2020. It was my goal for 2019, but honestly, saying that I may or may not be getting that in January is enough for me. Like, it was a tough nut to crack, especially as I was still focusing on the English channel as well. Then my next goal for 2020 will be to lose some weight again. It's sad. It's really sad. During summer, I lost like 20 pounds because I was working out a whole month. Every single day, I was working out. I went with my bicycle, went to the gym, did a workout, 1 hour, got back with the bicycle, didn't eat anything sugary, and it worked out wonders. But as soon as Gamescom came around, I was going out with friends in Stuttgart, and then university again. University is kind of taxing on my waistline because I tend to eat more sugary stuff because of endorphins. And yeah. One thing that was also my plan for 2019 is to pass all my exams, which partially worked. Yeah. I passed most of them in the winter. I didn't pass some. I had to redo them in summer, which then I passed, and then I didn't pass 2 exams again. I'm a little bit on my back foot. I still have 2 more exams to go in January. 3, excuse me, when you count just speaking in front of an audience, but I don't really count that as an exam, to be honest. But yeah, I still have to work for them, hence why beginning of 2nd of January I will be once again at uni and learning. I did some today, so we'll see how that goes. It will be thermal and fluid dynamics and mathematics and physics too, which is like waves, warming of stuff, and in thermal and fluid dynamics we have like pressure losses, circle processes, Joule processes, auto processes, stuff like that. Yeah, that's the stuff. One thing I sadly can't really promise is if I'll be able to become a CC in the German community, if I can still keep up my English channel as much as I want to. That is like my only fear, to be honest, because I like to speak English because it helps me to get better at speaking English. I learn every day. I genuinely think that English started to become like a second nature for me. I have a pretty solid vocabulary and I know how to get around. So if you would drop me off in New York, I don't have a problem to get back to the airport and get back to home with only speaking English. If you put me somewhere else and say go there or there or there, I shouldn't have a big deal because I even started to use my phone in English because it's just second nature to me. I just have no problem. Most of my problems with English are just like grammatical writing maybe, and some pronunciations and sometimes missing some words. But other than that, like it's not anymore that I am like having to translate the word, for example, tank in my head, that it was Panzer. Oh yeah, it's tank, and now I'm using it. I just have like those 2 different vocabularies in my head, and it's an amazing feeling. So I want to keep up the English channel. And I simply don't know what I'll be going to do if I achieve the CC. Maybe Wargaming says you can't do your English channel anymore. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I do still want to keep using it because again, it is for you guys and it's for me personally to just get better at speaking. But yeah, I guess I'm just going to leave this video now as it is because let's be honest, 33 minutes of me talking is a bit long. Goals for 2020, I already mentioned, losing some weight, getting the CC done and passing all my exams, which partially worked like last year. And yeah, it was a hell of a ride. The 2010s was a hell of a ride for me. Like, it was a weird decade for me. Finishing high school or college, I guess. Making my duty in the military for a year. Then going to university, failing there twice, changing the university, and now being at a new one. First time once again going to Gamescom after twice now in 10 years. It was weird. It was a very weird time. Thank you so much for keeping with me. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful time, and have good luck in the new year. And have a happy new year. My name is RagingRaptor. Cheers. Peace out for the last time for 2019.